He's from Baltimore. He's a public speaker. He's an innovator. He's a tech
now live for all them and on his page.
Okay. He's probably one of the fastest growing innovators in the country.
Oh, thank you.
Mario
They don't do that. They
Armstrong.
Good morning. Good morning, Richard. Thanks so much for having me on the show, man. Excited to be here. What's up to all my family in Baltimore, my hometown, my home city, the place that birthed me, the only place that does it right, in my opinion, next to my second city, which is New York. So good to be here on the show with you. Thank you so much. I'm humbled and honored to be here, and hope that we touch at least one soul today with some messages that helps really push them in the right direction so that they get more progress and more opportunity for themselves.
Absolutely, man. I listen to you almost daily on Instagram, more importantly than Facebook, or more frequently more on Facebook. And I'm excited about today's show. I couldn't even sleep, man, to be honest with you. I was like, I got Mario on. We're going to have a lot of fun. We got the same kind of kinship in regards to motivation and inspiring folks. And I'm really excited. So as you know, I don't know if you know, but I always start off with a little scripture to keep us in some kind of framework of foundation. It's a simple one. Iron sharpens iron. One man sharpens another.
They can't hear
one man sharpens again. Whatever the case is, just providing that information that you can help someone or assist someone to move forward.
I think that it's spot on. I mean, that scripture is really it really points to the idea of who's in your group chat, who's in your circle, who's in your text chat. Like who are the people that are close to you, and who are the people that you're getting your influence and inspiration from. And when you talk about, iron sharpening iron, it's really about how can someone if you write your goal, if you say your goal, you will have a close to 30% chance of reaching it. If you write that goal down, you'll have a little bit over 40% chance of reaching it. But if you say that goal and write that goal down, and then have an accountability partner that is there every single week checking in on your progress with each other, you get to 80% probability of achieving that goal. So iron sharpens iron is all about that. Having an accountability partner that is there to look after you, to support you, to push you, to motivate you, but someone that can be your accountability partner so that you can really set your sights and have a higher potential of reaching the goals that you see for yourself.
See, guys, this is what I'm talking about. Get on your phones now. Share this with somebody, because already he's dropped a nugget already. Accountability partner.
We're shooting threes. We're shooting threes in the first quarter. We're shooting threes in the first 3 minutes of the first quarter.
I love it, Mario. Listen, so, I listen to you quite a bit, man. There's been a lot of stuff going on. We've had the pandemic during 2020. We've had social unrest. We've had financial issues, economic issues. We got insurrection. We got all this going on. Absolutely. What do you say to people if they're trying to get through this muck and mortar? What are your 3 top things you tell them they need to do to get through this muck?
Number one, uncertainty has always been here. So a lot of times with the pandemic and with the things that we see going on in the country, we think that we were in control. And therefore, since we had this illusion of control, we felt more in control of our destiny and the things that we could do. And now, for the first time, we've all had to be put to a reset at a zero slate, especially when everything was on complete lockdown and everybody was forced to be at the same starting line. So what that did is that it let us know we're not in control. There are higher powers, higher forces, higher things that are in control. So what that says is uncertainty. A lot of people don't make moves because they don't know the outcome of the move they want to make. It feels too risky, or they fear embarrassment, or they fear putting it out there and then it not succeeding, or they have this fear of failure. So a lot of people hesitate because of uncertainty. So the one thing that I would say first and foremost is nothing is ever certain. The only thing that we know is certain is that there's a timeline that God has, but other than that, we aren't in control, right? We aren't in control, Richard. So I think that's the first thing to let go and release. You should feel a big, Mario's right. We had this illusion of control, but we don't have control. So all you can control is what we're doing right now in the present. So the past is the past. The future hasn't happened yet. We can't foresee it. So we're in this thing called the present. So my tip number one is treat every day and every minute of your day like you really are driven with some kind of bigger intent than you. When you drive your intentionality bigger than you start to understand, even innately and subconsciously, you start to understand the movements you should make when things are bigger than you. So number one, be aware that everything is unknown. The uncertainty is okay. We aren't in control of this. So therefore, how do you now adjust to your goals, your dreams, your aspirations? That's number one. Number two, with the social unrest that's taking place, how do you stand up as a role model? What do you do to show that you're being active and as opposed to just being a passerby, looking at people posting on Instagram, saying things like, that's a shame. I wish we could get back, like commenting. Commenting is not activism. Commenting on social posts is not activism. And so I really want people to understand, like, you're consuming stuff, but how are you activating stuff? And a lot of times people don't activate because they feel like, well, what's my one voice going to do? Are you kidding me? Your one voice can change anybody else in that household. How you talk is how your kids see you talking. How you act is how your kids see you acting. So what do you want that's best for them? Again, think outside of you. Number two, think about your local community. There's no reason in the right mind why you can't establish a fund or do something for a school or do something for a community center in your own community. There's no reason. So I think that, activism, I try to give not only advice and knowledge, but money and be active with doing something that at least I can say, while I'm trying to build what I'm building professionally, what am I doing for my community socially and on the activism side as much as I can? So that would be step number two, like take some action, and social media commenting is not activism. And then I would say the third step is clarity. If you do not have clarity on your dream, if it's not a shared vision within you and your family stakeholders, I call my family stockholders in my company, the company of Mario, the company of my wife, Nicole, the company of my son, Christopher. I'm stockholders in Christopher's dreams. I'm a stockholder in Nicole's dreams. How can you be a stockholder in each other's dreams? The way you get to that is by having clarity. So you have to sit down as a family unit or as a person and your girlfriend or your spouse or your partner or just a roommate. You have to sit down and share your vision for yourself and then write that vision down so it's crystal clear. I have affirmations in a process of spirituality, faith, and fitness that I do every single day. I carry affirmations with me on a little pocket chain so that I can have affirmation. When I have 5 minutes here and there, I can read. I am committed to studying to enhance my knowledge and expertise for others. I am blessed with an incredible family. My behavior and habits reflect the goals I am achieving. And those are like my personal goals. I have business goals as well. Like I am committed to creating a multi-million-dollar company that impacts others' lives. Like these are things I say to myself every single day. Wow. So having that clarity gives me now the structure and the framework for how I make my moves.
How you make your moves. Wow. Wow. That is powerful, man. Guys, listen, later on, you're going to be able to call in to 1-855-493-6499 and ask Mario questions.
Wait, hold on. We can call. Wait, you can call in. Wait, what's that number? Hold on. Wait.
855-493-6499. And that's about a quarter to 11 that will happen.
I wanna post that. What's that?
855
855
493
493
6499.
6499.
And that starts at 10:45, the last 15 minutes of the show.
Call
Hey,
in.
guys, he's already shot a 3-pointer. He just did 3 dunks. He gave us 3 powerful, powerful things that we need to look at and start adhering to and trying to put in your life. And as you guys know, Mario and I speak the same language. He just says it a little differently. And the way he just articulated that, what we talked about earlier in January, was just really powerful. So, Mario, we're going to jump around a little bit, but we're going to stay focused on motivating people. You were always known as a tech guru. How does innovation and technology today, how you see that playing part in most people's lives and business?
I mean, it's changing the game ridiculously, especially for business. I mean, look, for every single business owner that's out there, I don't care if you're in retail and you do products or if you're in the services industry, you need to be thinking about e-commerce. I mean, not even thinking about it. It needs to be a part of your action plan and in your product roadmap and in your goals for the next 12 months. How are you developing more of your products and services in the e-commerce space? Because one thing that we definitely learned from the pandemic is that virtual is here to stay. Yep. It's not just a stopgap. Going virtual and even doing interviews like this, it's not just a stopgap. Richard can now get anybody on his show. The accessibility is higher, so he can get. Look, I just did a keynote talk that was overseas. Like normally, I'd have to get on a plane, fly all the way over there, and then I'm losing a lot of travel time. So I got to try to get some work done while I'm traveling. That's a lot of opportunity loss, but I can do it right from home, hit overseas, and then still be able to come on to Richard's show as well. So virtual is here to stay. Yes, we will get back to physical activity. We are social beings. We definitely crave that and want that, but it will not be replaced with virtual forever. And so you'll now have a hybrid of virtual and physical going forward. So the internet and technology, the ability for you to now create your own merchandise. If you are an expert in any given subject area, if you aren't investigating creating your own course, you are missing out on the possibility of earning some extra income, but also helping people with your knowledge. The fact that you worked somewhere for 15 or 20 years shouldn't just be left with that company that you worked at. Yep. You did stuff, you achieved things, you saw things, you were a part of stuff. Turn that into a course. Well, Mario, how? Go online. There's a thing called YouTube and Google. Search, how do I make a course about being a chef? How do I make a course about being an admin assistant? How do I make a course about being a radio show host?
Yes.
So what I'm saying to you is the opportunities. Look, I just got off the phone the other day with a woman who was listening to one of my videos. She wrote up a poem and then sent the poem to me. I recited the poem. You probably saw this on Instagram. Yeah, I recited the poem, and it blew me away. She took my words of a topic that I was talking about, put it into a poem in real time. She did this. She was listening to me while I was doing it live, wrote up the poem in real time, and then gave me the poem. And then I recorded it as a poem using my voice. And now we're talking about making posters. We're talking about making artwork. We're talking about making a poetry book. We're talking about an audio book of poetry. We're talking about possibly doing events when we can do more things in physical, all off of one thing. She took her shot. She saw a moment to use her skill set with someone else and decided, is there a possibility to collaborate? So my point is this: collaboration is out the window. People are looking to partner. People are looking for your strengths to help their weaknesses. And people are looking to develop and create, and they're looking to do that in this virtual space.
Yeah, I did see that, and that was powerful, man. I love that she did that. She took that initiative. That's the one thing too, as well. So again,
and that's the game changer. The game changer is the initiative. People don't ask; they're too hesitant. You're letting fear and uncertainty and unknown get in the way, and then the inner critic starts to come in and say, well, you don't have that background. I'm from Baltimore, people. I got 2 Emmys. I'm on the Today Show. People thought I was done once I got onto the Today Show. They were like, oh, he made it. I'm just getting started. What y'all talking about? I'm from Baltimore. We just getting started. You don't crack open the door for Baltimore. Look, we know how to get in through the side, through the back. You know, we call them friends. We text them. Like, once we're in, we go in. So I know it's possible. I just
Absolutely.
want other people to know that within themselves, that you've been given a gift, and sometimes you're not answering the purpose that's calling for you. So you got to pay attention.
Pay attention, and be intentional as well. So listen, one of the things that you're known for is taking and understanding marketing and sponsorship. Give somebody some nuggets on those two areas if you can, that's trying to either starting a business or looking for some kind of way to get creative in their business.
Yeah.
Give them some thoughts around that.
Oh, Richard, this is really good, man, because so many people won't get started because of access to funding. And there's 4 traditional sources that people go to. You got your bank and institutional loans. You have your personal savings or credit. You have family and friends or crowdfunding. And then you have venture capital. Those are usually the 4 sources of capital that you use. The 5th one that you're alluding to is the one that we've built our business, and now we have 2 companies. We built both of these businesses over the past 10 years solely off of sponsorship dollars. The idea that you can create products and services and that you could have a base of people that are aligned with a brand and go to that brand with the idea and have them give you money to fund your event, your products, your content, whatever it is you want to have funded, your independent book that you want to have written. Why not get a brand to sponsor your book and sponsor your virtual book tour? So it's all these things are possible by seeking and understanding how you can get corporate brand sponsorship. You're looking at it actually right now. It's happening in this video. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. So Zenny is my eyewear brand. It's one of the companies that's a sponsor that we have a partnership with. I have to wear eyewear. I could have chosen any eyewear company. I wanted to wear eyewear from a company that I respected and that I wanted to talk about because I wanted to be able to help my customers, help my followers, my people, my community be able to know you can get stylish glasses with prescription for $6.95, starting at $6.95. Some of them cost $20, some of them cost $30, but you're not paying $100 or $300 for a pair of glasses anymore. Wow. Now, they don't have any stores. You can't go into a store. It's all virtual. So even the try on is virtual. So you see the product placement is right here. The assortment of different color lenses, the different styles. They got stuff for kids and adults. So my point is, it's very easy for me to go to a sponsor like Zenny and say, hey, I have no problem talking about eyewear because I want it for myself. I like fashion. I like to be stylish. I want eyewear that's going to be sturdy, but I also want to see a vision for myself, and eyewear helps me see clearly. So it's a great alignment. So the biggest thing with the brands is that you have to have alignment. Yes. So if you really want to get started in this space, you really want to think which brands are most aligned with my message or with my audience. And sometimes you just quickly survey your audience. What products do you already buy? What products or services do you already use? If you have a group of people that are listening to you or interacting with you or a part of your community and they already use certain products and you don't know what those products are, you're missing the automatic alignment of brands that you can start going to as potential partners. So it starts there. I mean, we have a whole course coming out in about 4 weeks, man. I'm so excited for this course because we are really going to teach people how to get access to capital in a new way that doesn't cost you really any money. Number 2, it doesn't give up any equity in your business. And number 3, it's not a loan. You don't have to pay this thing back. You just have to know how to put the proposal together, pitch the right person, deal with rejection, deal with objections, know how to actually present it, know how to get the right email address, know what the right script is to say. But once you have all those things in a template and a package, you can go off and run it and start bringing in that sponsorship money to fuel your ideas.
Hey, listen, Denise, my mom, Wanda, Jean, all you guys, listen, call somebody, tell somebody to tune in. He's already dropped a bunch of nuggets. Later on, he's going to give you all his contact information, how you can reach his websites, how you can reach his courses, all that good stuff. But more importantly, in 15 or so minutes, we're going to have him. You can call in to 1-855-493-6499. Listen, so.
That's right. I want to hear from my people. Call in. I want to hear from y'all now. Come on now. This the time. This is the time. Look, we talked about it, Richard. You look, when you do a show like this, you are opening the door for the ask.
That's right.
You are allowing your platform. You could just do the whole hour yourself.
Yep.
You got enough skill, you got enough expertise, you have enough talent to be able to have great interviews and great guests and be able to share information. But you're offering up a portion of that so that people can actually get something specific for them to change their life. And that's big that you're doing that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Mario, I've known you for a while, but I want to ask you this question. I don't know if you ever get this question. What's your biggest regret?
Oh, that's a good one, man. I don't get that one often. And what's really difficult about that question is I tried my hardest to not live in regret, because complacency breeds regret. And so when you are complacent, i.e. comfortable, it can breed regret because you don't take chances, you don't take risks, you don't really push yourself to the maximum. When you're comfortable, the only way you grow as a person with personal growth is if you actually do things that make you feel uncomfortable.
Right.
That's when you grow. That first time you hosted your radio show, you were uncomfortable. You might have guests right now that you getting ready to have it. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you know that that's growth. You know that that stretches you. And so that feeling, people call it nervousness. I call it excitedness. We don't use the word nervous in our companies and in our business. We don't say nervous. You never say nervous again, people. You don't say I'm nervous, because when you do, you're coming at it from a defensive position. I want you to say I'm excited. I'm energized. That way you come at it from an offensive position. You stand into your power. You don't retreat from your power. When you say I'm nervous, that comes off timid. Don't look for anything. We don't need those disclaimers from you. We don't need that. You just say I'm energized, and then you go into that, whatever that is. So to say all of that, to say that I try my hardest to not ever have a moment of regret by always being present with what I'm doing at the time, understanding that, and this is a really key takeaway for a lot of people. I was just talking about this with CEO Nicole, my business partner, and my wife, and still happily married, y'all. Still holding it together, y'all. That book is coming. That book is coming. How to do business with your spouse. How to do business with your spouse or your family. But all jokes aside, I really look to be in the present. And the big takeaway with that is I try to really remember I made the best decision I could make with the information that I had with me at that time. Okay. So the faith and the spirituality and the intuition, and then any intellect or research. Did I research as best as I could before I made that decision? Did I call a mentor and get any advice before I made that decision? If I can answer yes to a lot of these check boxes, then what am I regretting? Because at that moment in time, everything looks cleaner in hindsight. Yeah. Everything can look cleaner in hindsight. But if I really want to respect the distance traveled that I've come, if we really want to respect our journey, and a lot of people misunderstand that their lived experience, that's your expertise. What you have actually lived is your expertise. A lot of people out here looking for their expertise. Your lived experience is your expertise. So how are you not leveraging that? What did you go through? The outcomes, the environments that you grew up in. Maybe you had a rough childhood. That lived experience has given you some expertise. So my bigger point with all that is I try to really look at the decisions that I make day in and day out with an understanding of let me be centered with God. Let me be centered with myself. Let me try to tap into as much wisdom as I can and any advice that I can get, and then make that decision. That way I protect myself from regretting it later, because I made the best decision that I could make at that time with the knowledge that I had for myself. Wow. So if there was one thing that I would regret, I regret not figuring that out sooner.
There you go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So listen, we got a lot of listeners, and they range anywhere from 20 to 60. But I want to focus a little bit on the young folks. What is there a different message between young and old first, 20 and let's say a 50-year-old, or is your message the same to a 20-year-old to a 50-year-old?
That's a great question. My message is really the same. I may package it a little bit differently. So for example, for an older person, I might say, oh, you think life is over? Oh, you think your dream is done? You think dreams have an expiration date? Dreams don't have an expiration date. Yeah. I know people in there. Are you kidding me? People now, with the way we are with our health, we have the ability to live longer than ever before. Number one. Number two, due to the internet and due to the fact that we don't have to do everything with physical labor, we can now find other ways that we can make revenue or be a part of opportunities without having to physically beat our bodies up and doing it. So if you're 50 plus, if you're 60, the game is nowhere near over. Your wisdom and your expertise is something that other people need. You just now need to talk to somebody to figure out how you want to package it in this internet world. That's it. But if you start talking to some people about the knowledge that you have, or about the gift that you want to share, or about the ideas that you want to create, talk to somebody that has a sense of what's going on in the digital world, and that thing can pop just like that. So number one, I would say to the older folks, I'd say dreams don't have an expiration date. But that same message is relevant to young people. Dreams don't have an expiration date. So here's what I mean by that to the young people. Will you all get out there and start trying more things? I need you to try more. A lot of young people are being, I don't want to say complacent. Look, a lot of young people got a lot of pressure. So they got a lot that's on them. And I know that there's different audiences that think that they're an entitlement generation and all these other things. And I get all these different sentiments. But the bottom line is they're the only ones growing up with what they're growing up with right now. We aren't, they are. So how can we help guide them as much as possible and give them some advice or give them a roadmap or some blueprints? So what I would say to the young people is this: y'all are missing out by not asking older people that you see as successful for advice. Stop thinking that you have to know everything. And the minute, I wish someone in my position would have told me this, that if you could, Mario, if you could remove your ego a little bit for a second, if you could just, I understand you're confident. I get it. You're not necessarily a mean person or a selfish person. You're just super confident and you're aggressive about what you want to do in life. But if you could just tone that down for just a second so that you could just get some advice from people that are already where you are, because guess what? They want to tell you everything. They want to give you the blueprint because they don't see you as a threat. So young people, you need to step up and ask, because people that you see as your big brother or your uncles and those folks that are figures in your space, they want to see you grow. They want to see you be successful. But if you don't ask, they can't help. Wow. So I would say to them, dreams are for the taking. Dreams don't have an expiration date either, but you can get to your dream faster if you start asking for people for more advice and get more wisdom from people that have already done it.
Okay, guys, listen, 5 more minutes, 855-493-6499. We're going to open the lines. So, Mario, one thing I know that you do have, and you mentioned your wife and your son, but all encompassing, how important is a good crew, a good team?
Ooh, so this is a really great question too, Richard, because there are people that are listening and they hear that and they say, yeah, man, because he's where he is now because he's got a squad or he's got employees or he's got a team. I came from nothing as well. My wife and I went bankrupt pursuing this dream. Back in 2007, we had a deal with AOL for $286,000. It was supposed to happen. We signed the paperwork. That's when we launched our LLC, paid for our lawyer and everything. On the way leaving Baltimore, driving down I-95 South, imagine getting a phone call because you're on your way to AOL headquarters in Dulles, Virginia. Yep. And you just dropped off your 5-year-old son with grandma and say, hey, grandma, take care of Christopher. I can't believe we're doing this deal. This is going to launch our company. And then halfway down the ride, 45 minutes later, into an hour-and-a-half journey down the ride, you get a phone call that says, I'm sorry, Mario, I couldn't muster up the courage to call you 3 days ago when I knew this news. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I got him on speakerphone. Wife is right there beside me. What are you talking about? And he says, well, the deal isn't going through. I said, what are you talking about? We already signed our end. We already sent you the paperwork. We're on our way to your signing party. You told us that contracts over $250,000 is a signing party. We on our way to this. I know, but a new CEO came in 3 days ago and put a freeze on all contracts. And I knew this meant everything to you. So I couldn't muster up the courage to call you. So he calls me then.
Wow.
So we pull over on the side of the road. So we have a decision to make. And so, it's the quietest ride back. I'm saying all this to say that was our lowest low. I know what it's like to grab change and go to the daggone Coinstar machine in the grocery store and put that change in that Coinstar box and try to get some dollar bills so I could get some gas money. Like, I know what it's like that my mother-in-law was paying my groceries. I know what it's like that my godmother was paying for my train tickets to try to get me to the Today Show. I was on the Today Show flat broke. I'm appearing on the Today Show, family. But my bank account does not equal what my value is. And I know a lot of people listening right now, they got the same bank account that I had, but that doesn't equal your value. And just because somebody's got bank doesn't mean that they're morally profiting. I know plenty of people that are wealthy that are morally bankrupt.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So all of that to say that I know what it's like, and to that point of team, I want people to, I said that story because it's so important that people don't get caught up with thinking in order to be successful, they need to find that person, or they need to find that squad, or they need to get that. If only I could get that team, I could be great. If only I could find somebody to open the door for me, I would do it. We don't have time. I didn't have time for that. We don't have time for that. Every now and then someone will reach their hand down, but the only way they do that is that they actually see you taking action. So you have to put your best work forward that you can put. Every day is your chance to prove your potential and show us more of your portfolio. Every single day is a chance for you to document and show your work, show your vision, show your dream, show what it is that you see for yourself and what you want to accomplish, and say it and put it out there. Too many people are holding their dreams and their ideas quiet to the side. I don't want to say anything because I don't want anybody to steal it. Really? Like, I get it if it's like intellectual property and you have a patent on an idea. But if you're just talking about, I want to be a life coach, but I don't want anybody to see me doing it yet. Are you kidding me? There's 1,000 life coaches. What are we waiting for? So there's certain, my point is this: take action over discussion any day of the week. Absolutely. Action over discussion. By doing action, we get to see. When we get to see, people get to experience you. When they get to experience you, they get to then offer you help or give you a team or lift you up. I only got on the Today Show because I was doing stuff on WMAR TV for free. I had a full-time job, and I called the GM. His name was Drew Berry, a brother at the time. And I called him up. I said, look, I'm doing this radio show on WEAA for free. While I had a day job, I was doing a radio show for free. Then I said, I went to the TV station, said, can I do the same thing I'm doing on radio? I do it every Thursday. We'll call it Tech Tip Thursdays. And I don't want any money. You don't want any money? No. Well, why would you do it? Because I want the experience, because I got a bigger vision for myself and I need to know what it's like to be on live TV. Okay, let's do it. I did that for 4 years for free.
See, that's right. I love that. See, this is what I'm talking about. Woo, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Listen, the lines are open. 855-493-6499. If you got a question for Mr. Mario Armstrong, you guys have heard the nuggets. You need one now. I think we got a call coming in. Do we got one, guys? Not yet, but we're waiting. So I'll ask another question, man. I know this is important to you. Yeah. And you alluded to it earlier, and I didn't want to go into it, but you already alluded to it. The dynamic with you and your wife and your family, I know that's so important to you, and having that stability is very important. So how important is a significant other?
Oh, I mean, look, you heard that deep breath, all right?
Yeah.
You heard that exhale, right?
Yeah.
Brother, look, we have to be good human beings. We have to be good human beings with ourselves first and foremost. And then we have to really step up for the plate for our partners. And it's imperative that, you have to really sacrifice, and you have to be willing to understand the battles versus the war. And you have to really be committed together in a shared dream. And I think the biggest problem in most relationships, and I know this because I had to grow into this, was communication. Yeah. And I didn't communicate as nowhere near as well or as much as my wife did. She came from a much more openness about that. She taught me how to communicate better. So as I became a better communicator, I became a better husband, because once we could really be open and communicate without attitude, and it's tough to do this. We're human, but you have to try to really remove your instant emotion and try to think about, how much you impact and how much that person's love impacts you. And so I just think that it's absolutely critical to try to get on the same page. And I think if you all sit down and do a vision board together, I would bring it up and show you, we have a binder that we do where we sat down for a whole half a day. It may have even been a day and a half. Now I think about it, it was a day and a half retreat. And we did our business affirmations and our personal affirmations. But we also did shared affirmations. So when we recite our affirmations, even though we may not recite them together, we know that there are 4 affirmations that we're both saying that are both aligned with each other. They're the exact same affirmation. That keeps us on the same page. That keeps the communication really working. And when you have that clarity and that vision, it's hard for you to get off track.
Okay, Mario, we got a call. Caller. Hi, caller. How are you?
Hey, this is Jen Jersey. Can you hear me?
Who is this?
Oh, Jen. What up, Jen?
Hi, this is Jen Jersey. Hey. So I saw Mario, he posted on his Instagram to come into this interview. So I've been watching. It's a great interview. And I just had a comment I wanted to give about Zenny, because I've seen Mario advertise it at least for a year or so. I woke up in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep. And I finally just went on Zenny today. Started trying on different glasses. It was really great. I always wear contacts, so for a while I kind of felt like, maybe this doesn't apply to me right now because I was wear contacts. But then I realized I don't have a pair of sunglasses, and I've never had subscription sunglasses. So I found a pair I really like. I didn't hit, the buy button yet, just because I have to organize my prescription, get all that, situated. So within the next week or so, once I do that, I'm definitely going to get a pair. And I'll definitely put a post and tag you so you can see that I got the Zenny. But I realized during the pandemic, this is perfect, because who wants to go try on glasses in a store, get all germs all over you? So I just wanted to give you that shout out to Zenny. It's really perfect.
Well, thanks for that, Jen, and I appreciate the phone call in too. And oh, by the way, don't miss out on that 20% discount. Just go to zenny.com/Mario, and then you'll get a discount emailed to you. Zenny.com/Mario.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I totally forgot. So I will do that.
No problem. I got you.
Thank you, Jenny.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Listen, guys, 855-493-6499. Listen, guys, the main reason why I'm with Mixxstation Radio is the call. We have another caller coming in.
Hey, Rich, you got another caller. Hold on.
What? Okay, cool. I like that.
Yes, caller.
Yeah, I'm here.
Caller?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Rick, it's Damon.
Hey, Damon, how are you, sir?
What's up, Mario, my man from Baltimore?
What's up, Rick? What's happening, fam?
I just wanted to tell you preaching, boy.
It's the truth, too. You know what it is.
I remember when you and I were hanging out trying to get business together, man. I just want to tell you, man, love what you're doing. You're doing your thing, and keep inspiring people, man. It's a great thing, man, and during these times we need it.
Yeah, bro, I really appreciate that, man. We go back, and that means a lot, man. I don't take it lightly. I try to represent Baltimore, and when I'm doing that, I'm representing the Ricks of Baltimore. I'm representing the Will Jenkins of Baltimore. I'm representing all these people that we've done stuff together or thought about it or tried. And so I really appreciate that vote of support, man. It just gives me the fuel. It lets me know that I'm still being watched and that people are still paying attention, and that I need to continue to rep for our city and for our culture.
I remember me and you walking downtown trying to get some business.
Man, we were hustling too, bro. Like, we were serious about it.
We was in it to win it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Damon.
So man, great show, great message, great story, and I think Rick touched on something that was really important. The family piece and the community that we surround ourselves with is very important, man. So keep that in mind as you continue to move to greater heights.
Thanks, Damon. Appreciate it. Thanks, Damon. Appreciate it, brother.
We have another caller. Caller, your name, please. Caller, your name, please.
This is Denise of Positive Wisdom.
Hey, Denise, how are you?
I am awesome. Awesome. How are you?
I am great.
Let me tell you something.
From Mario Armstrong.
Let me tell you something. Mario, you have blessed me this morning. Everything you have said is straight confirmation. Yesterday, I had a conversation
with Rick and Ken, and we talked about the same thing, being motivated, and it has truly inspired me today. I have one question, and my question to you is overcoming the need to be a perfectionist in what you do. Because I feel like sometimes if I don't get it just right, I kind of abandon it. And I'm trying to get out of that, it just needing to be right and just jumping in and doing it. So what do you do to overcome that need for everything to be just right before you act?
Denise, one question back. I'm gonna hit you with an answer with a question. Denise, who loses if you don't launch your thing?
Yeah, I lose and everybody else I have it for loses.
Yeah, and it's not just you, it's the bigger one. Everybody else that you answer to loses. So here's the thing. Number two, are you a perfect human being?
Absolutely not.
Are you always trying to perfect yourself?
I probably am.
You evolve, right? You try to be the best person you can. You want to be better today than you were yesterday, right?
That is correct.
That same attitude should be for every single product and service. There's no such thing as perfect. Perfect does not exist. If it doesn't exist in the human body, how can we expect it to exist in a product or a service? If perfection is always about actually trying to do better today than what you did yesterday, then will you please launch it? Because you're always going to evolve it anyway. Quick short story. My wife and I went out with our portfolio, our pitch for our show, the Never Settle Show. We went around. I'm on the Today Show. I had Al Roker supporting me. I had a couple of other people that were really there to support me. And I still couldn't get any of the big networks to say yes to the idea. I was getting told no left and right for the idea. And they were paying me at this point to be on TV. So it wasn't that I didn't have the credibility or the expertise. I had it. It's just that they didn't see the vision for the idea. I had to make a decision. Do I go out and do this idea on my own with very little dollars, which meant it will nowhere near be what the vision of it is, so it won't be perfect. Do I do it, or do I wait until I get the right money, get the right capital, get more people involved? Do I wait? And at a certain point, we said, we're not waiting any longer. We keep getting told no. It's never going to be perfect. Let's launch it the best we can with what we got. Do you know that season, I had to end up doing my show not in the studio. I ended up doing my show inside of a tech company's lobby in New York City. We had folding tin chairs. My control room, my control room team, the supervising producer and the director were in the janitor's closet, because you can't have the control room be out with the audience, because they're calling shots and they're saying somebody's checking in. The same thing here. Like, Rich can't have the mixxstation production crew in the same room where his microphone is, because you would be hearing all that back talk that's going on. So they were in the janitor's closet. Are you hearing what I'm saying? They were in a janitor's closet.
I'm following you. Yes.
Now I'll wrap this real quickly. We did that episode. We did that season. Only 6 episodes. Barely scratching anything to put it together. And from that 6 episodes, do you know a year later, that's the season that we won our first Emmy off of?
Wow.
We won an Emmy on a season that we almost didn't do because it wasn't perfect, because we weren't ready to launch. We were ready because people needed to hear the message. When you let your ego get out of the way, you release it. That's why I asked you, who loses if you don't deliver? Who loses? All the people that watched that show lost if we didn't deliver. And now I'm in Times Square in New York City. Why? I don't pay for that. I can't afford that. Do you know why? Because they saw my non-perfect season, and they called me that summer and said, what are you doing next with that show? We saw it on Facebook Live. We would love to bring that over here and produce it for you. Now I got 7 cameras, a studio audience, glass windows. I'm right next door to Good Morning America, and I'm in the middle of Times Square. All because I decided to shoot my shot with the best I had. Is that enough for you, or do I need to keep going?
Let me tell you, Mario, I'm about to take off running. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Let's go, Denise.
I'm about to take off running.
We need your gift.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
You're always going to perfect it. So release the best thing that you got, and just know that you're always going to try to make it better. But don't discount where you are right now.
Ooh.
I appreciate you, Rick. You know I love you, Mario. I'm speechless right now. I gotta get on my stuff. I love you all. Thank you so much for this word.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Got another caller, guys. Not another caller yet. Not another caller yet. Not another caller yet.
Okay.
Not yet. So, Mario, I got a question for you.
Yes.
I always preach this, man, and I know this for a fact because I have them in my life, and I try to tell everybody they have to have mentors and counselors in their life. Do you have such?
This is a really good question. I didn't do this the best to my ability. And I just, I like to be straight up true, right? Because I don't like people being like, oh, Mario did have mentors. Like, he followed every single, T and dotted every I. I had people along the way that became advisors to me without me kind of even seeking that out. Okay. So I you know what? That may be the one regret right there, Rick, that I could have been more intentional about seeking mentorship. Now I'm I do it. Now I have it, but now, it's different. I wish I would have had that, 20 years ago and would have thought about that then, but I was doing it. Like there are people like Maxie Jackson, who was the general manager at WEAA. And Maxie saw me. And then I pitched Maxie on the idea for a radio show. He brought me in, let me do the show. I didn't really have anything to prove to him other than a little sample that I gave him. But Maxie gave me that shot. So what did I do? I would go into Maxie's office every week and ask him questions. I didn't really see that as a mentor-mentee relationship. Right. I just knew he had answers. Right. So I think they were mentors to me without me saying, could you be my mentor? Right. I didn't make it a formal thing, but I always was curious. And so I think a lot of people may hesitate because they're like, well, how do I ask for a mentor? And so there's a formula that I tell people to do now, which is called the 3 ask rule. I don't ask anybody of anything of importance with one question. So case in point, 2 years ago, 2 years ago, I'm with Spike Lee. I do this with anybody. I'm with Spike Lee. We're going on stage together, and we're getting ready to do a speech and a talk for both of us in front of some HBCU students. And I wrote up the night before my 3 asks. There's a whole story behind this, but I won't take up the time for that. Go to my Instagram page and look for that photo with myself and Spike, and you can read the whole story. It's a really good story to read. But the essence of it all is I did a ton of research on him because I really wanted to let him know that I wanted to speak to him the next day with a thought and an idea to break the ice that maybe somebody else hasn't done before. So I did an immense amount of research on him the night before, but then I wrote down my 3 questions, put them in a letter, folded it, put it in my jacket. And those 3 questions were, number 1, would you give me 16 minutes of a phone call to help give me advice? I asked for 16. Stop asking people for 15 minutes. Stop asking them for 5 or 10. It sounds like it ain't serious. Ask people for a time that makes them say, what did you just say? And you say, well, I just want 11 minutes with you. I just have a few questions. Oh, okay, I can give you 11 minutes, and then stick to that 11 minutes. You'll be surprised how many people will say yes when you actually put an odd number of minutes on your request. So number 1, I asked him for 16 minutes for a phone call. Number 2, I said, could you be a guest on my show? And number 3, the ask was, could you do the opening montage, the opening video sequence for my show? So I had a low-hanging fruit ask, a quick phone call, a middle of the road ask, can he be on my show? That's going to require more effort from him. And then a dream ask, can you do the opening sequence for my show? Because then I could put Spike Lee on the credits of my show. And so that was my dream ask. And so he said, no, yes, no. Basically, no to the 16-minute phone call, no to the video montage, but yes to being a guest on my show. Had I just asked him for the 16-minute phone call, or had I just asked him to do the opening montage, period, end of story, the conversation be done. No opportunity for the relationship to be furthered.
What a blessing, man. What a blessing. So, Mario, we don't have too much more time. I know you're busy, but I do have this real big question because I know you're a thought leader. I know you're an innovator. I know you're a tech guru. What would you change in today's school system for our youth to deliver education?
Okay, well, number 1, I'd say throw out all the textbooks that aren't bringing the full history of this country to the forefront so that kids can actually understand better as to what their contribution and how we built the country and what our role has been. And so they can stand in that power and stand in that confidence. I mean, I just ended up watching the movie with Samuel Jackson and the other brother, The Broker. If y'all got Apple Plus, y'all need to watch The Broker. This was Samuel Jackson. I forget the other brother's name that's in the Avengers right now that was a part of this movie. But there were two brothers in Alabama and that ended up owning over close to 200 properties, all fronted by a white person. And this is in the 60s, 50s, and 60s. And so we don't know anything about this in our history books. Right. We know about some Madam C.J. Walker here and there, but we don't really know about Madam C.J. Walker in the history books. So what I'm saying is, number one, I'd be throwing out the curriculum. And I rewrite the curriculum, number one, to make that more diverse. But that's a big ask. So number two, I would be teaching kids how to actually sell. We do not teach kids how to sell. And I think selling is very important. You need to know how to communicate, present your ideas. And when you do that, you learn confidence, because now you can actually pitch something that is coming to you or a thought that you have. And then number three, I would say, is that we need more experiential work. What I mean by that is stop grading our kids just based off a test, but let's actually get them real work experience embedded into curriculum so that they're not just doing algebra for the sake of algebra, that it actually has a connection on how you make sneakers. Or on how, like when we did the Urban Video Game Academy for Baltimore City Youth, we launched a summer program for Baltimore City Youth. It was basically math class in the summer, but we were teaching them video game design, but we had geometry and algebra teachers also in the same classroom. Why can't that be regular curriculum?
Wow. Wow. Man, that's powerful, man. I want to say thank you again. I want you to tell everybody real quickly how they can reach you on Instagram and all your websites and everything. Give them all the information.
Thanks, Rich. And Rick, I appreciate being on the show, man. So everybody, my favorite place to put a lot of content out is Instagram. Mario Armstrong on Instagram. So go there, follow me, please. I really would love to meet you and talk to you. And then I would say the website, neversettle.tv, because we got a lot of new things coming out. We got the course coming. We got the new man, I'm so, dude, do you understand, Rick? We can't shoot the show in Times Square. So now I've had to come up with a whole new model. Hey, Denise, you still listening? Hey, Denise, you still listening? Because I got to come up with a whole new model for the show now, because we still in COVID and I can't use the studio. Am I going to wait for it to be perfect? I ain't got time for that. I got to let it go. I'm doing it to the best of my ability. So you're going to see this in about 3 weeks. Wow. You're going to see the new 2021 Never Settle season. So neversettle.tv, neversettle.tv. And Mario Armstrong on Instagram. Those are my favorite two spots. You can find out everything about me. You can also follow me on YouTube, Never Settle Network.
I want to say something real quick. I want to ask a quick question. Today I heard you speak about Joe Budden and the new Apple, just give a real quick synopsis of that scenario, how you were proud of what he was doing and how you thought this was a big move and a powerful move. I think people need to hear this.
And in a short way, too, thank you for seeing that. So it was announced recently that Joe Budden, who was a rapper on Def Jam back in the 90s, who's had radio shows in New York and had his own podcast, has now made a move away from a service called Spotify. He's now gone over to a company called Patreon, Patreon. Anybody that creates content, curriculum, podcasting, really any artist, any type, and I mean artists in the widest range of art, you should be looking at Patreon, because it's a way for you to get people to pay you on a subscription basis for your art. So you get a monthly fee based off of levels that you offer to your customers or to your followers or to your community, and they pay you directly. So you don't need to distribute. This is what I'm saying. You don't need distribution points. You don't need the middlemen and the middle women to give you the okay and the green light anymore. You can actually just get funded directly from the people. That's the move. The move is to go direct to the people. That's why you see a lot of brands. Like, we got our homegirl. I can't wait to get Camilla on the show from Mess in a Bottle. I don't know if you know about Mess in a Bottle. Baltimore brand, T-shirt brand, came out of the Freddie Gray riots. She wanted to do something. She was the architect at Under Armour, and now she's got her own merchandise line. She's going direct to the people. So this can happen for all of us. So the story is that he left because he wanted to A, have more creative control over his own intellectual property, his content, and B, he wanted to shift the economic models so that it was more advantageous for the person that's creating, not necessarily the network or the distribution point that's hosting it. And so I think it's a really great lesson, and I think he's really leading a path and a way for us to think about how we could be more owners of the stuff that we create and how we can go direct to consumers to help to get that economic stability.
Wow. I heard that this morning. That's why I had to share with that. I wrote that down. I said I'm going to ask him about that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Last but not least, you mentioned something today that I really think really needs some explanation. The day you posted, happiness isn't a simple move. It is not a simple move. Please explain it, and then we're going to end around that note.
Happiness is because we seek happiness. Who doesn't want to be happy? I mean, who doesn't want to feel good? Who doesn't want to live in a better situation? Who doesn't want to see better for their kids, their family, their community? So we all want to be happy. But happiness isn't simply a mood. Was my way of reminding me that it's actually work. We have to work at wanting to be happy. Well, you got dream killers that are around us that don't even realize they're dream killing on us. You got people that love us that are projecting their fear onto us because they're afraid for your future, because they don't understand your vision. So since they don't see stability in what it is that you're doing, they start talking out of fear and say, oh, why don't you just keep that job? You're doing so good. Why you want to go do that now? Like, this is a bad time. Da, 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 da. They come up with a million reasons. These people may not even be haters. They just are trying to protect you, but they're dream killing because it stifles you. And so I just think that when we have these environments around us, it's important to remind ourselves that in order for ourselves to be happy, we have to be happy internally first. In order for us to be happy internally first, we have to work on it. Well, how do I work on it, Mario? Well, first off, how do I talk to myself? What do I do when I wake up? How do I treat my body? What do I put into my body? Do I give it enough rest? Do I meditate? Do I exercise? We all not perfect, but are you trying to do this stuff 80% to 90% of the time? Like, if you can do that and treat yourself right, that's going to be energy that's going to exude into others. And then people that can't take those beams of light, they're going to start moving out your way because that happiness, that sunshine come through. They can't handle that. It's too much for them. And that's okay. Let them come around when they're ready to come around. So it's work. You have to work at your happiness. You have to want to be happy. And then you have to clearly define that. I don't define happiness by the things I own. I do define happiness by being able to be comfortable enough to be able to do certain things for my family. Say if a family member gets sick, I know I want to be able to dip into that savings, and I know I want that savings to be strong so that it can handle it. But I don't measure myself by that. I measure myself by how do I feel inside and how am I treating the core people around me. So to me, it's harmony. It's like the orchestra. I look at happiness like an orchestra. When one particular instrument is out of sync, you hear it. But if all the instruments are in sync together, it's the most magnificent feeling and thing that you've ever experienced.
We are going to end on that note. I want to say, Mario, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you can be a guest again before the year is out on this show.
Let's wrap up 2021 like that. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good, Rick. I'm down for that.
All right, I got a yes.
And you took the shot. You're still shooting threes.
I need you to do a promo for me.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, but thank you so much, Mario. Really appreciate you, man. Baltimore loves you, man. You're doing a great job. I'm proud of you. I follow you religiously. I think you are doing the right thing and you're doing it the right way.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Let me do this drop for you too, man, because I really appreciate everything you're doing, and to the team and the squad and control room. I see you fellas. I see you brothers. I see you. I appreciate both of you. Hey, this is Mario Armstrong, 2-time Emmy winner, straight out of Baltimore. What's up, family? You are listening to Rick on Strength, Courage, and Wisdom.
That's what I'm talking about. You guys got that? Let's go. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, Mary.
One take. All right, we good. All right.
We good on the one take, guys? We good? We good.
All right, family. Y'all take care.
All right. Take care, man.
All right. Thanks for having me. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. Well, guys, this is what it's all about. Strength, courage, and wisdom. Every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Let's go. Wow.
Rich.
Yeah. Okay, you got that promo for me?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna send you a bill. You got me editing stuff. You gonna get a bill.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, I got it, and I sent it. What you want me to do with it?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm gonna figure something out.
All right, I'll hook it up, but you gonna get a bill, bro.
All right, ain't no big deal. No, I ain't got no problems with that, bro. I ain't got no problems with that, yo. Word, that's word. I ain't got no problems with that, yeah. Yo, but thanks, man. Yo,
it went good. I had the audio down low when you started, but I fixed it.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah, but there ain't nobody complain. You know what I mean?
Marcus, I usually I type your name in as soon as it comes straight up. What is that? Marco Nick. Oh, Nick, there's mixxstation. Okay, got you.